Okay, so sometimes the need comes up where we might need to squeeze in an extra learning target. So this is one I call learning target 2.5. I can explain the relationship between multiplication and. So when I look at 36 divided by 4, I think of that as 4 times, and keep in mind in middle school we start to get rid of the X for the multiplication symbol and we use the dot. Keep in mind the dot is not down where the decimal would go. It is up in the center and a little bit larger than a decimal. So 4 times some number is equal to 36, otherwise known as 4 groups of question mark equals 36. The picture looks like this. You're looking for 4 of the same exact value that equals 36. Because we can see that 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 would equal 36, or 4 times 9 would equal 36, we know that the answer to our division problem, the question mark, so the quotient is 9. When dealing with fractions and a fraction as a dividend with a whole number as a divisor, we first ask ourselves, if I have 1/2, can I make a group of 4? The answer is no. So what I do instead, if I have 1/2, I can split it into 4 equal groups. So we are going to do that. Because 1/2 is my dividend, I draw the 1/2 first. Now, this is a full circle and I am dividing into 2 equal pieces. However, I don't have both pieces, I only have one of the pieces. So this would be the equivalent of 1/2. What we're going to do is we're going to take that and divide it into 4 pieces. Since they have to be 4 equal pieces, I start by dividing it into 2, and then I divide each half into 2 equal parts. Oh gosh. Now I have 4 equal parts. If I take 1/2 and I divide it into 4 equal parts, I'm looking at one of those parts. Some people might say that this is 1/4. However, we have to go back to our original circle and compare that slice with the rest of the circle. When looking at this, you will see that the slice shaded in is actually 1 out of 8 equal pieces, making the fraction 1/8. So when we look at 1/2 divided by 4 equals question mark, think of that concept of 4 groups of some number equals 1/2. If you look at what we have over here, 4 times 1/8 is equal to 1/2. If we replace our quotient from here, 1/8, or the question mark is 1/8, and we put it in place of the question mark, here 4 times 1/8 is equal to 1/2. What this looks like is 4 times 1/8. A whole number of 4 will be the numerator and 1 is the denominator for any whole number. You multiply by 1/8, which when multiplying fractions you multiply straight across. So I would have 4 times 1 as my numerator and 1 times 8 as my denominator. This would equal 4/8, and when simplified, it equals 1/2. Another concept is if I take 4 divided by 1/2, I can use a number line to show this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And with that number line, I can show groups of 1/2. Again, my denominator is 2, so I want to go over here and I want to cut one whole into 2 equal parts. So now you can see I have each whole number value cut into 2 equal pieces. The only thing we have left to do now is I have 4, and I'm going to show groups of 1/2. This is one group of 1/2. So now we're going to count the groups of 1/2. This is 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, otherwise known as 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 7 halves, 8 halves. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So again, there's another relationship between multiplication and division. Our quotient is 8. So looking at how multiplication and division are related, again, we close with, if 4 divided by 1/2 is 8, then 8 times 1/2 will be 4. In addition, 1/2 times 8 will also equal 4. Oh my gosh. And that's a wrap.